Hello, I'm Chris Kilby, a pastor in a pergola, and here is today's bite-sized Bible from 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 5. Up till this point, Paul's been explaining to Timothy that he needs to root out the fake news from some of the false teachers in Ephesus. And the question I want to ask is today, what's the point? What's the point? Why bother so much about the teaching? Why root it out? Well, in verse 5, Paul gives us some clarity, and Paul gives Timothy some clarity. He says, the goal of this command, the reason I want you to root out the fake news in Ephesus, the goal of this command is love, which comes from a pure heart and a good conscience and a sincere faith. You see, for Paul, everything he was and everything he taught began and ended with love. God is love. It's his very character. Jesus came to bring a message of love. And so it's an apostolic priority for Paul, for Peter, even for John. You look in John's letters, 1, 2 and 3 John. His overarching theme is, guys, we've been loved by God. So now let us love one another. Love is an apostolic priority. So fake news that was coming to the church there in Ephesus was contrary to this love, Paul says. In fact, he says this fake news divides, it separates, it's divisive, it's unhelpful. And he wanted Timothy to be able to build a unified community of love, not division. Whereas the false teachers that were bringing this fake news in the church, they were causing division, the opposite of love. So if you want to model a pure heart, and if you want to function with a clear conscience, and if you want to express a sincere faith, then can I urge you to do this? Always go for unity. Always go for unity. It's an expression of your heart, your conscience, your faith, and ultimately your love. So how do you go for unity? Let me give you 3 suggestions this week to help you go for unity rather than division. Firstly, get stuck in with the vision of the organisation that you're part of, whether that's a church, a charity, a business, a workplace. Get stuck in with it. Give your all to it. Secondly, don't develop unhealthy sidelines, niche thoughts and ideas. So in church life, we can often find people that will have a pet doctrine and they'll fight doggedly for that one thing. And it always causes division when people have a very, very narrow view of what is right and what is wrong and what is priority and what isn't priority. So try not to get stuck into niche, but try and go for a broad understanding of everything. And thirdly, and lastly, let everything you do and everything that you say be motivated by sincere faith, by a clear conscience, by a pure heart, and ultimately let it find its place by being motivated by love. That's today's bite-sized Bible. I'm Chris Kilby, a pastor in a pergola, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.